Hello YouTube, welcome back to Operation Laythe here in Kerbal Space Program. I'm Southern Wolverine and we're here, of course, at the Kerbal Space Center. Now last time, of course, our man Bob here made his successful, triumphant return from Laythe, bringing us a lot of science and, of course, completing our stated mission, which gives us the opportunity, I guess, to choose a new mission. Oh, I went and hit the wrong button. Oh well, whatever. I'll get all those icons out of the way. Alright, so we are here, and I've decided we're going to take a couple next objectives. We all have the science unlocked pretty much at this point. So I decided that the next thing I want to try to do with this is land on all those places that are kind of hard to get to. So to set ourselves a challenge, getting to the tough places, and of course coming back. That's the tricky part, not just sending probes, bringing people. So of course one of our target is the most distant of worlds. Here is Elu. This is difficult primarily because it's far away. It's about all there is to it. It's not all that big. I mean, I believe that's roughly moon-sized, you know, give or take. So we'll come out here, we'll visit, we'll do some science and come back. Also on the target list, besides Elu, we will make a return to Jewel, I think. And there's one moon of Jewel in particular. Which one is it? Not Bop, although that's difficult for its own reason, just because it's in this wonky orbit around a planet that's already difficult to get to. But I think it's this one here, Tylo, or Pol rather. Is this the one? Nope, that's not it. Darn it. There's a high gravity moon. There, no, it's Tylo. It's Tylo. That's familiar, yeah. So, doesn't look like much, but here's your problem right there. 0.8 G. I mean, it's, you know, almost as big as Kerbin, but no atmosphere to help you land, so you have to use quite a bit of fuel to land, as well as get off the surface back into orbit. That's on top of the trouble of getting all the way out here to Jewel, of course. So that's another target we want to get to. These are in no particular order, by the way. I'm not going through it that way. I mean, maybe we can also try for Paul or something, which is a nice tiny little target. But that shouldn't be that difficult to actually land on. We probably should also go for Moho, which I haven't landed on in this series. And it's difficult because it's got this highly inclined orbit. And it is very close to the sun, which means you get quite a bit of energy required to get back. Other than that, once you're here, gravity's not too bad. A little bit more in the moon, I believe. No atmosphere to slow down your escape, although it doesn't also help your return or your landing, but so be it. So we'll put Moho on the list of targets. And sort of the ultimate target for visit and return with a manned mission is Eve. We have been here to Eve, sort of. I cheated a little bit with a quick save to land that probe here, but we would like to land a manned mission and bring it back. And the bringing it back is the hard part. Now you got two major problems here, of course, and one is right there, 1.7 G. That's a lot of gravity to try to fight against. The other is, of course, here. The atmosphere is present. It is high, 90,000, opposed to 70,000 on Kerbin, but that doesn't even say it. It is very, very thick atmosphere at lower levels, which will make it easy to land, but difficult to take off. So you need a fairly large vehicle delivered to the surface of Eve to really have any chance of escaping it. So that's sort of the list of things we're going for. I should say I also think I'll experiment with rovers, although there's not a huge point to them in the game at this stage. You could land on the edge of one area, say on the moon, do some science, and travel across the border into a new area. But it takes so long to do the roving, and you can't fast forward really while you're on the ground roving along. So there's not really a huge point to doing the rovers. Although if you could land a lab on wheels, that'd be kind of cool. So that might be something we'll go for. But in order to mess with that, I'm going to use some of this science. This 2,500 science. I had a little bit of leftover before I did the Laythe mission, but that's pretty much all from the Laythe mission. Probably 90% of that is anyway. So we're going to use some of that to unlock some new things. We're going to get some rover wheels here and this, you know, small external command seat. And we'll go ahead and spend another 550 on the large rover wheels. These ones are pretty tough, and these things are just obscene. I love the description on this. When it was revealed to the company's chairman, he stared in shock, screamed "Why?" and subsequently dropped dead on the spot. That's about summarizes up these engines, but I've seen some people on YouTube do some pretty cool things with them, so I think we'll try to make a mobile lab or something and take it someplace. What else do we have up here? We got some structural parts, which honestly I don't really use these even in creative mode. You can do some neat stuff with them. You can use them to actually help make rovers and things, so maybe I'll unlock that just to get these big flat pieces and such. These girders I don't really use all that much, to be honest with you. And these pieces likewise don't interest me very much, other than maybe that nose cone, but we can simulate that with other parts, so it's not really critical. Xenon propulsion. We're focused here in Operation Laythe primarily on manned missions, and Xenon propulsion just does not do it. Although maybe I'll change one of those missions to do a. Yeah, see, even anything you're gonna do a landing with, those engines are kind of useless. I got a couple more unmanned probe cores, so I'm not really interested in those. So by process of elimination, I think I'm gonna go ahead and grab those because I can use them to help make cool rovers and stuff. Grab that. This is another command pod, although we can maybe try to use this to make large aircraft. Not that we really have much that we need to do with that. And I've got leftover science, so you know what, I might as well just grab these. So, yeah, our Laythe mission, we actually don't even need to do science anymore. Our Laythe mission has completed what was left of the tree. Perhaps I'll go and download some mods or something to give us more science to achieve. But not really planning on that immediately, but that might be something to keep open. Alright, so I don't think I'm going to do an actual space mission here. What I do want to do is do some on-the-ground experimentation with rovers. Start with mid-size rovers. And I had another thought that might help us for an Eve mission, because that's going to take, sort of like our Laythe, where it took many launches to get that. It will probably take many launches and multiple trips to set up anything that's going to go out to even have enough power to come back. Maybe I'll do that intentionally, set up a lab there or something, just, you know, just for giggles, basically, I guess. I don't know, there's not really a reason since I have all the science I need. But, so we'll just, of course, the wheels are the engines, not the engines, come on. The wheels, rather, are completely electric powered, so lots of batteries you kind of want on there. And really the RTGs, which I've been using to power a lot of my spacecraft lately, are not really the ideal choice for a rover because, well, here, let's just look at it and I will show you why. Okay, so the RTG, the radioisotope thermoelectric generator, generates, after we right click, it generates 45 electric charge per minute. So 0.75 electric charge per second. Now if we go over to the wheels, this is sort of the mid-size kind of standard wheel. That's 1 electric charge per second per wheel. So if you got 4 wheels all powered, you're going to take, which is really the minimum, is going to be at least 4 wheels. You need 4 electric charge per second. I suppose you could slap a lot of RTGs on there and it would be okay. The other way to go is to just have a ton of batteries, or, you know, a handful of batteries, depending on how many wheels you've got and which size wheels you've got. So these ones are actually a little bit more efficient, which kind of surprises me. I thought those other ones would be more efficient because they're a little smaller. These ones, of course, are more efficient. And this one, 2 electric charge per second per wheel. So anyway, what I was going to, before I interrupted myself, the other way to go is to have a couple of solar panels just to recharge. Say if you stop for a while and let the thing recharge, and then a number of large batteries rather than have RTGs hanging off in every which way. And of course that electric charge per wheel I believe is the maximum, so that's if you're at full power and all that kind of stuff. You can turn wheels off. What am I doing? Alright, here, I just want to make a demonstrator vehicle right now. So what I'll do is I'll take this, and this, put some fuel on here, even though we don't have any engines on here. You know, I could put engines on here to act as descent engines if I were to be delivering this to another planet or something. So we're going to design with that in mind, although I won't put engines on just yet. So what I'm going to do here is I want to get wheels as low to the ground as possible, so give us max amount of ground clearance on a rover, because we don't want to be hitting the ground, we don't want to be bottoming out and dragging along the ground. See, now that doesn't give us much ground clearance at all. So maybe should we just go crazy and use the giant ones? That looks ridiculous. You know what, I got those new structural parts. Maybe I can use one of those just to get a little bit of standoff. Oh, those things are tiny. That's not going to do me what I want. Maybe... See, that's... I never am sure what the hell I'm actually supposed to be able to do with these little structure bits. Okay. Nope, that's not going to do it either. Okay, fine. I'll just get another one of these. Just turn it 90 in the right freaking direction. Okay. Looks a little weird, but it'll get the job done. We'll slap some wheels on. Stick with those same ones. And we'll turn the snapping feature off. Quick key for that is C, for those of you who don't know. And we'll just get these as low as we can on there. That actually looks like it's upside down to me. Looks like it should be the other way. Something's getting flipped. Yeah, that makes more sense. It reaches down a little bit more in this direction, and this way when you push up on this, it's compressing the strut. The other way would be kind of backwards. Oh, damn it. Turn the snap back on. Okay, so we're just going to pull that back a little bit from the front. We're going to pull this all the way down to the edge, like that. And we'll put a ladder on, although I don't really intend to get out just yet. Oh man, it doesn't want to go on the right way. Come on. Stop snapping, maybe? No. Rotate. Not that way. Alright, so now if I extend the ladder, is it going the right way? It is not. I do like that we have this ability to check now. Well, that's a lot more ladder than I need, but whatever. Which is just for the sake of argument at the moment. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stop messing with that. I'm a little worried that these legs with that extra link going out there are going to be somewhat unstable, so we'll just go like that. Tie them to each other, and that should box the frame out pretty nicely. And I want to do sort of a test here of on-the-ground refueling. Now, of course, rovers refueling other rovers, which is the test I'm going to do, is not really the most practical of things. What is more likely to happen is if I could land a fuel rover of some kind, whether it's manned or unmanned, then I could use it to refuel a lander, say, for Eve or one of those other high-gravity places that, you know, a lander might burn some of its fuel going down, I might be able to land, or if I could send a vehicle out largely empty or something, I could get it there a lot more efficiently and then bring the fuel out later. I'm not sure if that mission profile really makes a lot of sense. So I kind of have to figure that out. But I want to know if it's a viable thing to do. And I'm totally blanking what I was about to do. Right, solar panels. As I said, we're going to put solar panels on here. We can deploy these to charge things up once we have in fact landed. Whatever. We'll just make all these a group. Toggle panels, etc., etc., etc. Okay, So that'll let us deploy those when we need to charge them. Now, I've found in the past that it's not a good idea to drive around with those deployed. As you hit a big bump or something, they have a tendency to fall off. Not something you want to happen to your sole source of recharging your batteries. Alright, so let's drive this around a bit and see how it goes. This actually has a decent turning radius, it seems like. It maneuvers reasonably well. You have decent ground clearance, so not great, because we could worry about hitting the end of those. There's a balance between getting ground clearance and making sure you're not going to get too high a center of gravity, because if you go over a bump or something like that, the last thing you want is for your vehicle to flip or roll over or do something strange. Okay, so, whoa! Ooh. Also, if your center of gravity is fairly high and you brake, you've got a force down here, and your center of mass is up here, causing a moment around the center of gravity, the center of mass, thus resulting in that pitching forward situation you had there, which is why we want the wheels as far apart as possible. And I think what I will also do is disable the brakes here. Actually, while we're doing testing, let me go ahead and do that. I will revert to the spaceplane hangar because I need to go there to disable the brakes. I can't do them while in motion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this front set of engines. Oh, I can't disable the brakes there. What? I thought I could. Maybe you just can't do that for all wheels or something here. Let's look at the other wheels. See, now this is interesting to me. Finding things out on the fly. Alright, we'll just whatever, slap it anywhere. So, interesting, I can't disable the brakes on that. I swear you can on some of these. Maybe that was just the aircraft wheels or something like that. I'm pretty sure you can do it on these ones. Disable the brakes. Yes. So you can disable the brakes. Huh. That's interesting. See, I wish I could do that on these. Well, alright. That's kind of unfortunate we can't do that, because if we could disable the forward brakes and just have rear brakes, we would not really have to worry about that pitching. Because basically these would be providing the rearward force, which would kind of drive those down into the ground, but you're not stopping these wheels, so they can kind of continue to roll and stay underneath you. As it is, you just have to kind of reverse. Use reverse instead of brake, or use reverse and tap the brake so that you don't pitch forward. Okay, so whatever. That's what we got there. Now we're just going to pop back to the Space Center. And what I want to do is test the refueling. Test the refueling apparatus. Alright, so we're going to go back to the spaceplane hangar. I'm going to take this rover. I'm going to refuel it. And we're going to try this out. Okay. Come on, you can do it. Come on, Bob. All you gotta do is drive over there. This should be easy. Now, this is a lot heavier with the fuel in it, but it still seems to be maneuvering pretty well. So we're just gonna go over here and we're gonna do a on-the-ground test of refueling this other rover. And of course, this is the sort of thing. Whoa. I don't want to crash into it. This is the sort of thing that space programs do all the time. In fact, there's people doing, like practice Mars missions and stuff even. Not like landing in that, but what it would be like trying to live in a capsule that you can't go outside without special suits and stuff like that. So there's people who go into places like the Arizona desert, or the Alaskan wilderness in winter or something like that. I can't remember where it was they were doing. I want to say it was a desert someplace. Okay, so actually the grabbing arm connects quite easily to that, and we can now highlight that. I'm not sure why I guess this doesn't cause them to count as one vehicle, although it does let us transfer fuel over apparently. So that's a successful test. Unlike a docking port, it seems like they don't count now as a single vehicle because we only see Bob. We don't see Jebediah or whoever was in the other capsule. So that's a little bit odd. I would have expected them to kind of merge as if they were docking ports. The implication of that is if I try to drive this around, these wheels, Yeah, see these vehicles. Oh, well, see, they do. I can pick on them. Maybe just the crew doesn't show up. There might be a glitch or something. Because those wheels do steer. So that's a sign that, whoa, okay, maybe we should not be trying to drive around. Can I do control from here? That's weird. It does not, and it doesn't register as another vehicle. Oh, no, okay, there we go. Now we're with Jebediah. So if I control from here, what happens if I try to drive away? Why are the brakes on still? They should not be on. Okay, there we go. Oh, I can drive these two around together. And all the wheels seem to steer, sort of. It's not ideal, but we could do something. And actually, this is probably good news, because what we could do is we only need one rover then with powered wheels, kind of a tugboat or an engine, if you will, as if it were a train, and then we can attach other just fuel tanks on wheels, basically, and they don't even be the powered wheels. They can be like the aircraft wheels or something like that. And it wouldn't need a source of power. We can just land it like this and have that other vehicle pull it along. So that's kind of a nice test too. And my solar panels don't want to deploy because I'm controlling from the wrong place. That doesn't make any sense. Well, whatever. In any case, I can figure that out later. So there's some stuff we can do with rovers. And of course, if we can do this with another rover, we can refuel anything with this. I mean, we can come out, we can have a lander with, or a rover with a docking arm on the front of it. We can clamp it to the side of anything, transfer fuel over, and, do things that will make our landings, make our vehicles a little more flexible. We could even just drop a giant fuel tank down that doesn't even have an arm and just have a little rover with an empty fuel tank that goes back and forth, taking fuel from the one vehicle and transferring it to the other. So there's some potential things we can do here. I'm provisionally excited, although these things are not really wanting to maneuver very well attached to each other like this. So maybe making a space train is not a great idea. Perhaps if I free this pivot, things will happen. Okay, that's not really working great either. I seem to be controlling it from the rear vehicle still, which would be a problem for a train. Really, we want to control it from up here. But I can make one that has an arm on the back that we back in and attach and do that sort of thing. But in any case, this has been sort of the establishment of Season 2, if you will, of Kerbal Space Program Operation Laythe. As we have, of course, gone to Laythe, I've stated new objectives. And we have some new technology to work with, and from the form of rovers. So we'll look forward to some new challenges in the next set of episodes. So thank you guys for watching. This has been episode, whatever the hell episode this is, of Kerbal Space Program Operation Laythe. I'm Southern Wolverine here with Jebediah and Bob Kerbin from the Kerbal Space Center, wishing you all a good day.